أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين حبيبنا وحبيب إله العالمين أبا القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. Our dear viewers, our dear listeners, welcome once again to another episode of Alwasi Vibes, brought to you by Alwasi TV. Again, tonight joining me is the respected Sayed Hasan Almodarresi. Assalamu alaikum, Sayyidina.
Wa alaikum assalam wa
How are you?
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
Alhamdulillah.
Allah yasallamkum,
How are you
inshallah.
feeling? How you been these days?
Very good, alhamdulillah. We can't complain.
Busy as usual?
Busy as usual.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Of course, in this day and age, sometimes we complain when we're too busy, and sometimes people you find complaining when they're not busy enough.
Yes,
And you find that we're never really happy. But I'm not sure if you're noticing the same thing, but for me, it feels like, years and months, and like we're almost approaching the holy month of Shahr Ramadan.
Yeah.
And it feels like it was yesterday that we finished the last Shahr Ramadan, and we had Eid,
Ahsan.
Salat al-Eid in the mosque and everything. So, subhanAllah, and this is one of the signs, I think, the signs of the end of time. It's like
Time.
the year is like a month. The month is like
Yeah, there is one of
Yeah.
the signs. It says that the years that pass so fast, like months. And you see it now, we are in end of, in the middle, we can say, middle of February.
the last,
Yeah, the very last month.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then we're going to get
Last
in
quarter
March.
of
Yeah,
Sha'ban,
quarter.
yeah.
Yeah, as we going very fast. Even for us, a couple of, we can say 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we have stories from this years and this years ago. So we have those as well. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. It's not something that we can, I think now I have some stories I can tell you 30 years ago. 30 years ago this happened.
Yeah.
30 years ago that
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
And like when you pause and you think, and we remember certain things, and I was like, oh, that was in the year 2000. 2000. Now we're in 2026. That was 26 years ago. So, subhanallah. Sayyidina, today we want to talk about some of the hot topics, the issues that are concerning the youth. You are someone who is in a unique position. First of all, you're the imam of the mosque, so you have that physical presence in the mosque. But also you have your presence, whether it's online, you're accessible, let's say, to the youth. And I'm sure you have a lot of youth approaching you and speaking to you about different topics, different issues. And sometimes they may be unique, and sometimes you may be witnessing that there's a trend, that there's certain issues, that certain topics that are becoming more and more common. So, now, what would you say is probably one of the most common, or some of the most common issues that the youth are coming to you with?
Ahsantum, jazakumullah khair jaza for that question. I believe, this is my, of course, observation, what I'm seeing these days, especially in Sydney, because it's not just the mosque, even the school that we have. And we are in different locations. We are in the north, east, and the south.
Yeah.
So we have it in Beverly Hills, we have it in Campbelltown, and we have it in Wollongong. I notice with all of them, whether they are in Beverly Hills or in Wollongong or even in Campbelltown, there is no much tolerance from the young generation. They want everything to be done very quickly. They don't understand the importance, no patience. They understand they don't understand the importance of learning the language, that is Arabic, or learning Islamic studies. This is not something they understand. And there is other issues with the young man and woman. They have that, but I'm talking about the teenagers here. You can categorize them. Categorize them in different ages. You see, when they are very young, they're in kindergarten. We say from 5 to, let's say, about 9.
Yeah.
They're wonderful to deal with. They're angels. But from, let's say, 9 and above, 9 to 13, 14, they're very hard to deal with. There is a lot of changes.
Well, there are physical changes.
There are physical changes. We just had an incident the other day in one of the schools. I'm not going to say which one. One of the young men, last year, he was one of the smartest boys in the classroom. And I told him many times, if you keep doing what you're doing right now, studying, you have a bright future, inshallah. And I see you to be one of those ulama, inshallah, scholars.
MashaAllah.
And he was really motivated. This year, he wanted to drop out from high school drop
Okay.
out from our school, and when you have a chat with him, he says, you know what, I don't want to be involved in any of this.
Big change. Yeah.
I don't want to,
Mm.
not our school. He says any
Everything.
studying.
Okay.
I want to just work any
Mm.
work, any
Okay.
jobs.
Yeah.
I just want to go to a
Mm.
TAFE, get a, some kind of a certificate for
Mm.
either electrician or plumber or whatever it is. But for me to study more than that, and
Mm.
he's very, very
Mm.
smart.
Yeah.
I believe if he gets into medicine, he can be a doctor.
Yeah.
If he wants to become an
And
engineer,
that does happen, and I've heard of similar stories. Were you
mm.
able to know the reason from him, or he wouldn't give you a reason?
The reason from him, what he
Mm.
was saying, is just too much pressure.
Mm. That's
And
exactly it.
yeah, too
Yeah.
much pressure. People putting a lot of pressure on me, and the parents they said, look, we can't push
Mm.
him further,
Yeah.
because if we push further,
Mm.
he's just gonna fall off the
Exactly. It's
cliff.
gonna go the other way.
He's gonna go to the other way, and it's very hard for us to bring him back.
Mm.
And the mother and the father, they were very upset for him to say, I don't want to go to any of these places. This is the ages that you deal with.
Yeah.
That age, this
Yeah.
is what you're going to
Mm.
come across. That I don't want to be involved in any of this because I have no
Yeah.
patience. I don't understand the importance of it. I don't understand the
But also say that
yeah.
it's the inability to deal with pressure and
Yes.
too much pressure. And sometimes people who aren't high achievers, who are average achievers, basic, they're just getting by, they're just passing. You find them, they're just cruising through life. They're so happy
Yeah.
with whatever they're getting, alhamdulillah, and there's no pressure at all. Whereas you find someone that is smart, but because they're smart, they're putting pressure on themselves to achieve great things. Plus, they want to make their parents proud, they want to make other people proud. People eyes are on them, so then they don't necessarily have the skills, or they weren't taught those skills. And I wouldn't say it's a lack from the side of the parents, because it's not an easy thing to teach.
Mm.
It is something that needs proper, education, and how to address it, and how to actually even know that the young child, young son, young daughter is going through that. That just because they're smart and they're achieving great things, they need to be mentored.
That's right.
They need a mentor.
That's
They need
right.
a guide to tell them, look, it's okay. You have this ability. You are smart. You will be able to achieve these things. But at the same time, it's okay to feel pressure. It's okay to not achieve it within a certain timeline, to, allow yourself time to breathe, to relax, to go out. Because, those people, I find, they tend to isolate themselves, not go out, staying at home. You won't see them. I think more so overseas, in Iraq and in other countries in the Middle East, you find, for 6 months you wouldn't see this person. They've locked themselves at home. They need to study. They need to achieve this goal. And even here, I've had people that I know and friends who, were studying for medicine or studying to get accreditation into medicine. We didn't see them for 6 months. They didn't pick up the phone. I tried calling. Like, they cut off. They cut themselves off. They isolated themselves 24/7 to achieve that goal, and they did achieve it. But they lost a lot of social relationships and connections at the same time. So it is a skill that needs to be learned, how to manage that pressure. And
Ahsant,
at that
yeah.
young age, it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. It's of course that you do have those people, like you mentioned, they isolate themselves, they really devoted of what they wanted to achieve. Uh, I know a lot of them, and you know a lot of them. From very young age, he has made his mind. I want to become a dentist. I want to become a pharmacist. I want to become an engineer. I want to become a cardiologist. I had a chat with one of the students the other day. He's 11, and
Yeah.
I said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" He said, "I want to become a cardiologist."
Wow.
And I really, he said, "Yes, I
Because
want to."
we had no idea what we wanted. We were at uni and we didn't know what we wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I asked him, "Is your father a doctor?
Mm.
Is your mother?" He said, "No. I want to become cardiologist. I'm very interested in the heart.
Yeah.
I want to be one, and I hope to be actually do an operation someday as
Inshallah,
well."
yeah.
And
That's
I looked at him and I said, "Subhanallah,
Mm.
you have this, and you have someone who wants to drop
Yeah.
out."
Someone like that gives you hope in the
Yeah.
future generations.
Yeah, it's the be as we say. It's a
Mm.
place you
The environment,
the
the
environment.
surroundings, yeah.
It's the environment. If the environment encourages you to be this, they will become
Yeah.
that. It's the parents. The parents, if they encourage you to, achieve this high status, and it's for your future.
Yeah.
Later on, when you grow up and you become a cardiologist or whatever else, you're going to make that much money, and
Yeah.
let's talk about money because they'll be interested in
Yeah,
money,
yeah.
and you're going to be respected in the family, in everywhere,
Society.
society. He's a doctor, he's an
Yeah.
engineer, he's this and that. it's that, and there is another issue I found out with many young men, and even like you just said, they complain a lot.
Yeah.
It's just when you complain because you don't understand the value of what you have, the blessing. It's a
Of
kufr
not.
bin
Yeah.
ni'mah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it when you don't understand of the value of what you have, you complain. When you see someone who is in Iraq, and I've seen it many
Yeah.
times, I think you have seen it as well, a young man, very young, a teenager, and that teenager, uh, he goes out to work from very early in the morning, 6 in the morning, until very late at night, to support his family because his father passed away.
Yeah.
They're orphans, his siblings. He's an orphan
Yeah.
himself. And when you speak to him, he says to you, "Yes, Sayyidina, I work, I make maybe, all of
Enough for today. Yeah.
for
Something like.
a best day that
Yeah.
I can think of, I can make 13, 14,000
Yeah. Dinar.
dinar,
Dinar, not
dinar,
dollars. Yeah.
dinar. That is how much? $15
Yeah. Something
maybe,
like that.
yeah, and that's nothing. And this is from very early in the
Yeah.
morning, very late at night, pushing those,
Yeah.
the trolleys.
Yeah, I've seen those definitely. And you even see them in the street, like they're selling something and they have the book next to them, so
Yes,
they're reading,
yes,
studying while they're selling.
yeah.
And I saw another one that was really made me proud to see was a widow
Mm.
of a shaheed husband was a martyr, and she was in the street in a full abba and properly dressed, and she was making street food and selling street food.
There you
And
go.
the guy came and spoke to her, and he said, why are you in this situation? Why are you doing this? She was in her 50s. She was quite like a middle aged or a bit elderly, and she said, three of my daughters through this work, I was able to put three of my daughters through university, and two of them were doctors, and one of them I think was a lawyer. So even though the situation was tough financially, those people could have given up and said, you know what, it's too hard. We're barely getting by. We can't. But no, when people have the ambition and they are motivated for the right reasons, you're able to achieve anything. And I think that's where it comes to how we are brought up here and the culture of the West, where it's like everyone's been injected with this drug that just makes them less motivated, less ambitious, less wanting to achieve. Because even I remember when I was in school, in high school, HSC years, we had one student who came from Nepal,
Mm.
and he had only been in the country for 2 or 3 years. His English wasn't English is obviously not his first language. He knew English, but it wasn't his first language. But this guy was, the smartest kid in class. Like he was answering questions before. I remember in our physics class, he was answering questions before the teachers even asked it. He already knew the information. We were there in class to learn the information. He already knew about it. So the teacher one day he just stopped. He's like, "Look, you've got to tell me. How do you even know this stuff?" And so he said to the teacher, he said, "Look, because I want to achieve great things, and because I understand the sacrifice that my parents and my family had to make for me to come here, and because I've seen how hard and tough life can be over there, what I do is I wake up here at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. This is a school student in a school day. I wake up at that time and I read the textbook of what you're going to teach us today. I read it over and over again. I start to memorize it. Start to understand it. So I've come to the class. I already have a couple of hours of preparation in advance. And I remember looking at that person. I was like, wow, we are so different here. Like where, let's say, most people here are just too spoiled.
That's it.
Where
Yeah.
whatever happens, happens. If I make it into university, or I make it into that degree, or I don't make it, I'll live and I'll survive. Which is just that base level of existence, and we lack that motivation and ambition which we need in our culture, in our communities, in society in general. You need people to be ambitious, to achieve greatness, to become doctors, engineers, and not even just doctors and engineers, in whatever aspect in life that people choose to be in. Even if you're going to a trade, even if you're going to whatever you're going to do, don't just be average, don't just be normal. Like aim to be the best at whatever you do. And yeah, and I feel like that does definitely, as you said, it comes from the environment,
What
family.
you mentioned
Yeah.
there is, I want to highlight being spoiled.
Mm.
When you become spoiled, you don't want to do anything. It's just, you know what, I have everything I want,
Mm.
and why am I
Yeah.
doing anything else? Why am I putting myself through this kind of a hardship? I'm going to study for what? I'm going to work for what? I have everything I want. It's just the parents. The parents, the environment plays its role, and the environment can be anything. But the parents, the house, the parents, they teach the child the value of what you have, and to understand whatever you get, you should be thankful.
Yeah.
You should be knowing, understanding this is a blessing that Allah has given you, and this will help this child to grow. I've seen children when you give them gifts, and I told to one of my teachers in the school, and she's one of those teachers. Every time you answer a question, she likes to give you a gift.
Yeah.
And she was really upset with me about this very topic. But I said to her, "This is the decision I made, and please go on with this decision. That give the gifts. The gifts should be given until the end of the term. Don't give it to them every week." So she was doing it every week.
Yeah.
After Salat, she asked questions. Who has done this? Who has done that? Here, tfaddal, a gift. The reason I said that to her was that I saw with my eye that one of the students, he got a gift. He looked at it and he goes, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And then he went to her, "Can I exchange this gift to another gift?"
Because Sayyidina, in between your what you're saying, the qima, the value of being gifted something is diluted. It's
Ahsan.
less and less and less.
Ahsan.
The more that you do
Ahsan,
it.
this is
Yeah.
exactly what I was talking about with her. It's diluted, and you have to put him and every other student through steps of what they're going to get. You're going to get a merit award now. You're going to get a bronze, and then silver, and then gold, and then
Yeah.
you will get a small gift.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a child, this is about 30 years ago, as I was saying before the podcast, I can tell you stories from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm that old.
Yeah.
I remember when I was, 30 years ago, when I was in primary school in Iran, in Australia, but mostly in Iran. I remember in Iran, there was a kind of, they had this system of awards, and you get 5, and then you get the bronze.
Yeah.
You get 3 bronze, you get the silver.
Yeah.
You
Stages.
get
multiple stages.
2 silvers, you get 1 gold. With a gold, you get a present. And we had this kind of in the hallway there was this poster that says, if you get that, you get this.
Yeah.
I still remember it was a highlighter, but those highlighters, they have all 4 colors in them. And it was special highlighter. It was a pencil, but the pencil from both sides you can write. And in the middle there was a rubber, eraser.
Simple things.
Simple things.
For the students, that was everything.
And every one of us was like, I want to get that one. I want to get that.
Yeah.
But if you give this very gift every week, the child will just
there's
say,
no value in it.
yes, there's no value in it. And what are you doing here? You're giving me this gift every week. It's us.
And I also said that it's not just the no value in the gift. It's like, if you're giving it every week, all right, if I can be bad this week, and then I'll always get an opportunity next week. But when it's a whole term that you have to make sure that your good points are more than your bad points. Because I had this system at home, not even at school. Because my dad's a teacher, like his background's teaching. So we had this system at home, good points, bad points as kids. So when you have that system of, being, when you're good, when you get a good grade, when you're good in class, when you're not speaking, when you're not talking over the teacher and all these things, and you're getting all of these good points, it's a long-term thing. So you're thinking about the long term. For the rest of the term, I need to make sure that I'm good so that I can achieve that goal. But if it's every week, then it's like, all right, if I fail this week, then I have another chance next week, and the week after that, and the week after that.
And it just continues with every other thing. Every other thing, it's just the parents. It's not the child all the time. It's a father. It's a mother. I had many parents that come to me and say, "Oh, he doesn't want to come. Why he doesn't want to come? It's not us. It's okay. Don't worry about that. Forget about the school. He doesn't want to go to the mosque. He doesn't want to pray. He doesn't want to fast." Then you give that to them?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to put that much pressure on them. The imams, they have a system. Imam al-Jawad has put a system. Until 7, let him pray. اتركه 7. Until 7, let him play. Let him be, out there. Back then it was in the wild. Just go in the wild. Hunt, play.
Yeah. But
now,
then again, saying that, even in saying that, and I feel like we have to clarify this because a lot of people misunderstand that.
Yeah.
اتركه 7, leave him 7, does not mean you leave them completely without teaching them anything until they're 7 years old.
Yeah.
No, there was still some sort of base, knowledge. You're teaching them basic stuff. Taking them to the mosque, taking them to these centers, to Arabic school. that's, you're not necessarily forcing them on anything, but subconsciously, as a young 2, 3-year-old, they're building an attachment to these places.
After 7, my belief and what I do with my children, you have to go.
Yeah.
Unless it's a school night and it's
Yeah.
gonna be late, it's a long program.
Because
You have
then
to
it's
go.
adibho sabak.
Adibho
Teach them.
sab'a, teach them.
Yeah.
For example, the other day I went to Canberra. I took my son. I went to New Zealand. I took my son for the majalis.
Yeah.
And I said, you sit down and you listen to the majlis. Every time I go to the mosque, the times I can, I take my son to the, when it's holidays, it's a school holidays, I take him for the Friday prayers. You make him come. You come there, but at the same time, there is that award.
Yeah.
Afterward, after the program finishes.
I'll have to go to 7-Eleven.
Yeah, I take you to for a Slurpee, for
Get a
this and
donut,
that.
get
Yeah,
something,
whatever.
yeah.
Give him something.
Yeah.
But he understands that I'm getting a award here, and from Allah there is a award as well. I think that kind of attitude, that let them be, and I don't want to put that much pressure on them. If he doesn't want it,
I think, Sayyidina, it also
not
comes,
right,
also
no.
comes down to laziness from the parents.
Exactly.
Because, trust me, 90%, or if not all kids, especially sons, growing up, they want to be with their fathers all the time. You know, I have to turn down all the offers that I get from my son. I'm going with, wherever you're going, I'm going with them. I was like, no, you can't. You know, this, it's
that
not suitable
Yasin?
for you. Yeah, Yasin. Yeah. So, but I think it's parents and sometimes fathers who are tired already and like, you know what, I just want to go out to the mosque on my own. I don't need to deal with a child, and I just want to pray, and I want to have, live that spirituality without my children with me. But it's very important that you build that connection as a father and son, and build that spirituality within the children.
What you said there is beautiful connection. The connection is very important. If you build that connection, I play with him some Nintendo Switch. I play with him some Lego.
Yeah.
But same time, Baba, I'm doing this with you, but you have to come to the Salat. Tomorrow we're fasting together. The next day I'm going camping, you come with me. There is, the Prophet was Mubashiran wa Nadhira.
Yeah.
Sometimes I tell you, we have teachers, they complain to me from, some of the students, this and that. I tell them, please let me know in advance. Don't talk to the parents directly.
Yeah.
Because I know the parents.
Yeah.
They say, why Sayyid? Why are you saying that to us? Because some of the parents, the father is violent.
Yeah.
So if he hears that his son didn't behave,
It's gonna
give him some slap, I don't want that violence to be at home because of the school.
Yeah.
There's, the child didn't do, A, B, and C, and the father
And
is
that
violent
leads
with them.
to very, very bad outcomes from
And the
people that we've seen in our communities.
and of course you have the opposite of that. You have the opposite of those parents that I don't care.
I don't know, Sayyidina. It's like they're proud that they don't know where their 13, 14-year-old son is. I know fathers like that. They're like, oh, where's your son? I was like, oh, I don't know. He's old now. He's out. I don't even know where he is. And I was like, seriously? So you sound very proud and happy that you don't know where your son was.
Yeah, and
Your
tomorrow
son
if there is an arrest,
Mm.
if there is nastajirubillah, God forbid, some big problems, he says why,
Yeah.
and the blame goes to
Yeah.
the marja'iyya.
Yeah.
The blame goes to the centers.
The centers,
the
the
blame goes to
community
the
leaders,
sayyid.
and why didn't you do anything? And when, there is, okay, let's address, there is a responsibility on the whole community and everyone. But in saying that, like, you need to take that first step. So if you're not even bringing them to the center, if you're not bringing them to attend a lecture, there are lectures throughout the week, throughout the month, and all of the occasions. There are lectures, and the purpose, and the Shia and the school of thought of Ahlul Bayt and the followers of Ahlul Bayt are the luckiest people on earth, because we have a university that teaches all year.
Oh, yeah.
There is no other religion or school of thought where it delivers these lectures
Throughout the year, we have
throughout the
programs.
year, programs, all
The
of the
minbar
celebration. The
itself,
minbar of Abu Abdullah.
it's a university.
The minbar is a university that's teaching akhlaq, teaching manners, teaching morals, teaching them about their religion, the connection with their religion, connection with their imams. So if you can't just drive that 10, 15 minutes and just bring your son or bring your daughter, let's not forget, it's not just the sons. Bring your son or bring your daughter and just let them listen. Even if they don't want to be there, it's not very interesting for them, but let them hear one word, 2 words, 1 day, 2 day. If you haven't done I believe that's a bare minimum of a parent. That your bare minimum is to bring them to these places. You don't have the religious knowledge. A lot of parents say we don't know how to teach them. We don't know, our religion itself or our knowledge, not their religion, but their knowledge and being able to teach is not great. So how am I meant to teach my sons or my daughters? Well, bring them to the centers. If you don't like this center, there's another center. You don't like this speaker, there's another speaker.
There's a lot of centers.
That's your bare minimum responsibility, is to bring your children. And if you can't do that, and then later on you come and you say, you know what, the community's failed me. The community's failed my son. Or I've heard of people attacking, other people within their family. Like, you failed my son. Why didn't you watch out for him? Why didn't? But you weren't going to allow someone to say one thing to your son. You've spoiled him to the point where you're worried about someone saying something or warning you about something. You're like, no, my son's perfect. My son's
the Prophet
the
said
best.
it. The Prophet said it very beautifully. Of course, all the sayings of the Prophet and the Imams are beautiful. What he said is, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. Every one of you is responsible. Like the shepherd is responsible for the flock of sheep that he has. Now, a shepherd cannot say, you know what, to the other shepherd, why didn't you take care of this sheep or that sheep of mine? Habibi, this is your sheep, you have to take care of it. And you see, the Prophet, when he says, كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. Now, the example of رعية, if we say they're a shepherd and the flock of sheep, the shepherd, when he takes the flock of sheep, from the moment he takes them out to the moment he brings them back in to the farm, he's looking out
Constantly.
Constantly. That
Each and every one.
Every corner. And he has the dog. He might have 2 or 3 dogs with him, but he's afraid of coyotes, he's afraid of wolves, of foxes, whatever. He's always looking around. There might be some kind of wild animal that might attack. The father and the mother, when you give the child a phone, and the phone doesn't have any filters, the phone with the internet, and the child can go on TikTok. Alhamdulillah, one of the things that happened, I think, was in January, the Australian government, they introduced this
banned the social media
on the
under
16.
16.
Under 16. I think even under 16 is not the right thing. It should be even less. It should be 13.
Yeah.
It should be 11. Because someone who sits down and it goes on TikTok, you know how TikTok is.
It's just random scrolling. You don't know what's going to pop up.
And I'm not just saying talking about TikTok. And you might say, TikTok when it comes
but even
to
YouTube,
Instagram.
even things like YouTube. A lot of parents view YouTube as something that's safe. But if you're not, or even if it's a YouTube Kids account, that's even safer. Just open the YouTube Kids and just leave them. Whatever they watch on YouTube Kids is fine. You'll be surprised and shocked what videos are out there on YouTube for kids. It's made for kids. But
YouTube Kids is not. If you upload any video, and everyone out there, they have a YouTube channel. It's just a matter of saying, is this made for kids or not kids? No. I remember 2 years ago in Al Mahdi Mosque in Salat Al Jum'ah, I had on the screen a screenshot I had from YouTube Kids, someone who from which group?
Alphabet.
Yeah, the Alphabet community group. He was sitting down with all makeup, beard, less than mine. I have a long beard now. Yeah, less than mine. And he had a fairy dress. And I don't know how this works out. He had a fairy dress with all makeup. Yeah. He had Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. And when I saw him, I was like, okay, this is YouTube Kids.
Yeah.
And what he was doing is unboxing toys.
So, not related. One thing is not related to that.
And I've seen it many times, and I'm sure you've seen it when the mother is out there, she's pushing the pram, and the child in front of her, her child, she's sitting down with a phone in front of them, and they're just watching non-stop. And the mother, she's saying, you know what, I want to do some shopping, let him watch.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
So now I've seen parents give the young kids Facebook Reels. Just scroll Facebook Reels. So it's just like, we need to be aware. Parents are responsible. You can't just have kids and expect them to turn out to be amazing, religious, God-fearing individuals when they're older, when you don't put in the work and the effort. And it's a lot of work. Exactly. It's a lot of effort. It's not easy.
24/7.
It's a lot of monitoring from the father, from the mother. They each play their role, and they're both important. But at the end of the day, that's the duty. And then the last 7 years of that is Sahib Husab, which is beautiful. It's beautifully put. You befriend your children when you're able to successfully go through those first 14 years, and if you've done your job, then you can have them as friends, meaning give them the sense of responsibility, give them a sense of personality and character, build up their character, give them the confidence. Don't bring them down in front of people. Don't talk badly about your children. A lot of parents do that. They'll sit with a group of people and like, oh, my son is this and this and this, and
in
they're
front of the
bad and
child.
and that destroys that personality. That
It
does not
destroys their
destroys the character,
self-esteem.
self-esteem, and
That's it.
yeah, and
A
it's
friend of ours, a mutual friend, you know him
mm,
perfectly. He's a very good friend of
yeah.
ours. He's a real estate agent.
Okay, yeah,
And I remember him saying this to me, and it registered with me because, subhanAllah, the very same month, I had a parent said the opposite of that. A parent said, I'll tell you what the other one said. He said that my child should know I'm his father. Father, this authority
yeah,
figure in the house. You do this or
yeah,
we execute
yeah,
you. You're done for.
yeah.
And his approach is not right. No way.
Authoritarian, like dictator.
Authoritarian. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And that very same month, our mutual friend
Yeah.
said to me that he had his son with him, and he said, Sayed, my son's number one friend is me.
Yeah.
I play
It's
with him
beautiful.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
I take him to the majalis. I go with him to the soccer games, football, not soccer,
Yeah.
football.
Football.
Yeah, I hate when they say
Yeah.
soccer, but he said soccer anyway. I take him to the soccer games. I go with him camping
And that's
and all that.
beautiful because if you're able to build that connection and relationship of being your kid's friend or your son's
That's right.
friend, then they don't need to go out and find all these different. And look, they can have their own friends that are their age, but when they have that relationship with you as friends, then they're able to come to you when they have an issue. Dad, I've got this really big problem. I don't know how
Because
to
you're
deal
his
with
best
it.
friend.
Because
You're
they're
his
not
BFF.
afraid that you're going to
Yeah.
beat them, or you're not afraid that you're going to yell at them. They're not afraid that when they say this to you, you're going to say to them, look, you've disappointed me and you've put shame on me, and you know what? There's that fear because they want to make you proud and they want to look good in front of their parents. So if you give them that ability of a safe space, that I am your safe space, I'm your friend, I'm the person that you can come to me with whatever that you have, whatever issue that you have in life. Don't be embarrassed, don't be scared, come to me, I'll help you. That's the only way that you can successfully raise strong children, strong sons, strong daughters who have personality, who have character, who are able to go to the outside world, whether when they're entering into a career, whether they're studying at university, and able to stand firm and hold on to their values and hold on to their belief and hold on to their identity.
Ahsantum.
Because
Yes.
without being given that confidence from their own parents and their own fathers, they're not going to have that confidence to
Exactly.
face society.
Exactly. We mentioned the bad side of it. We have to mention what should be, what recommendations are. You mentioned some
Yeah.
of them. You do have those YouTube channels that they're not right. You have these reels are not right, but you have, of course, the right channels.
Yeah.
YouTube channels that really, really play a big part in helping them either learn, the Islamic studies or
Arabic,
yeah,
Quran.
Arabic. For example, we use at our school, Imam Ali College, we use infographics.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen them, Ahkam in minutes, Ahkam
Yeah.
in brief.
Yeah.
And a lot of our students, they have learned so much of Ahkam because of these videos.
Short.
Yeah, short.
Easy to digest.
Yeah, they are 4 minutes, 6 minutes.
Yeah.
We had a parents meeting on Monday in Wollongong and I showed them, about a minute of that, and they were amazed. They said, "I love this. I will watch it myself." And I said, "You look, this is what you have to do when you have this program with them. You have the ahkam in minutes every afternoon. Every afternoon, this is something I do in my house, and I recommend to the everyone, to the families, inshallah, if they can do these kind of programs. I tell my children, every one of you recites a surah of Quran, one or two surah,
Yeah.
okay, perfectly, with the best ability you can, and you can tell, from
Yeah.
the age. Afterward, we recite Hadith al-Kisa, is a must, Hadith al-Kisa, and after that, every one of you gets 2 rounds on Mario Kart, Nintendo Switch, Nintendo
Perfect.
Switch 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's my
Uh,
philosophy in life.
yeah. because you have to
You
give
have to
something to
give them
get
fun.
something.
You have to give them something
Yeah,
fun.
if I tell them, you know what, you're gonna do this, and there's nothing else.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No.
That you're encouraging them or enticing them with a video game or whatever their favorite meal or whatever.
And it's a
It's
clean
not
video game.
exactly.
Mario
Yeah,
Kart is,
yeah,
I'm with them, of
yeah,
course, and they give me
yeah.
the, you play as well, and I'm not that good at it, but
Mm.
I'll try my best.
No, because say that
Yeah.
some people think, oh no, but that's wrong because you're teaching them that they're just doing it because of the game. No,
No.
at that age, that's going to be ingrained in their minds, in their hearts. That's something that they learn, and then when they're old and they're associating it with good times, with happy times, and it's a reward. It's the concept of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises us heaven and Jannah and all of the bounties of Jannah. So why are we being good? Why are we praying? Why are we doing all these things? Why?
Because
Because we want to
paradise.
enter into Jannah. That's the system of Allah
Yeah.
subhanahu wa ta'ala.
And the Prophet was like this,
Mm.
Mubashir wa Nadhir. There are apps out there. There are many apps out there. For example, Darul Buraq has an app.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can download it. You can use the app. Give it to them 10, 20
Mm.
minutes. Let them do it while you're there
Yeah.
watching them, what they do.
There's another app that teaches Salah. I forgot the name of it. It's
There's,
also a new app.
there's a new app that came out for
Sayyid Rashid Al
Sayyid Rashid
Husseini. Yeah,
Husseini.
that was a good one too.
Yeah, that one is good. Let me just find out what the name for that one was.
So there's definitely good side to
Yeah.
technology. Technology is not always bad. Yes, you have to be
We are a bit
careful.
behind.
You have to be careful. You have to be aware. You have
The
to know
Shia
how to.
are a bit behind.
Yeah.
I think Ilya.
Ilya Ahsan.
Yes, this
Ahsan.
one.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
that
the
one
one.
there.
Yeah, that's the
Ilya.
one.
So I don't know
Yeah.
if this one shows on the camera. This one, Ilya.
Yeah.
And when they're doing a lot of updates to it, you have
Mm.
Madinat al-Al'ab, Rahle,
Mm.
Ma'arif, Qasas,
So
As'ala,
there's that one in
Ajuba.
Arabic only.
I think so. It might be.
Yeah.
Lugha, you can change it. No, English.
English, beautiful. So it's
You can,
available in all of these different languages.
you can change it. Yeah,
Mm.
journey, games, questions, stories, watch some videos they have.
Beautiful. So
Riddles. I'm not getting anything from these guys. No, there's no
it's not
money.
sponsored,
There's no sponsor.
but it's for your
But I
answer.
support this kind of things
Yeah.
because what I find with this kind of programs, even I remember in in Diwan al Kafil,
Mm.
when I was there, they used to do at the salat, at the not the salat time, actually at the majlis time, the kids club.
Mm.
And I was a big fan of it because first thing first, the child is not going to sit down and listen to you babbling for 2 hours,
Yeah.
especially me. He's talking for 1 hour and a half.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
yeah,
listen to
yeah.
him. And then that's me. Yeah. So what they had at the very same time, for example, tonight is Laylatul Qasim. Sayyid is speaking about Qasim ibn al-Hasan, salamullah alayh. So what should we do? We have this kind of activity book,
Drawing,
drawing,
coloring,
coloring, and the lady
learning
there.
a few things about the
Ahsantum.
characters.
What I found is every one of them is there. They're not making so much noise. They're not going back. Why would the child make a noise in the majlis? Because he's not interested.
Exactly.
What are you saying? Yeah.
That's a thing, and I feel like as speakers we're told that please cater for everyone. So I can't cater for a 5-year-old and a 25-year-old. It's impossible.
very impossible.
For me to be able to speak at the level of a 25-year-old, that 5-year-old's going to have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Even the language, even the words that I use. And so that's where the centers, as you said, that center that's in London.
In London.
We need to adopt something like that. And I have mentioned it a few times to a few people that we do need that those younger members of our communities, those
Let's
children.
say 10 nights, 13 nights. You can do that kids club. You have it in the tent outside. You have it in, if you don't have enough space.
That also that builds their connection and their eagerness to attend. When people say the kids don't want to attend, well, obviously they don't want to attend and sit down for 2 hours, as you said, not understanding why they're there. It's important to be there in the atmosphere, but they don't understand. They're not really benefiting per se as someone who, let's say, is a 15-year-old is going to benefit. So having that, they're going to be the one asking you or telling the parent, please, let's go. Let's go tonight. Let's go every night, because it's exciting. It caters to their interests and to their needs. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, you have to speak like you mentioned. With everyone has their own understanding. The way you speak to a 25-year-old, 30-year-old, is different than someone who is 5. Now, a 25-year-old, he comes there, he wants to listen about the philosophy of Imam Hussein's revolution. Now, come and teach that to a 5-year-old. He just looks like, what is he talking about?
5-year-old wants the basics.
Yeah, the
what
basics.
happened, why, things like that.
You talk about marriage, the 20-year-old, he goes, okay, how can I get married? It's a topic for that child. For that child, is different. That's why it's not just you have to here be very fair. we have to be very fair with this. It's not just the parents, it's not the child, it's a shared responsibility.
Exactly right.
Also me as a person who's a speaker, what am I doing here? If sometimes it happens with me, I go to a lecture. The other day I had a lecture in Canberra for the Mawlid of Imam al-Mahdi.
Yeah.
So when I started the lecture, they were very much the front of the audience, they were very young. And then behind them were a few older people.
Yeah.
When I progressed in the lecture, about 10 minutes in, I had much more coming in, and it was mashallah, big hall.
Yeah.
It filled up with older gentlemen, and the ladies' side was filled up as well. So I changed the topic.
Yeah.
While I was there,
Yeah.
I started with very basic things, Ma'rafatul Imam, Imam al-Mahdi. I'm just telling my experience, okay?
Yeah.
Ma'rafatul Imam, and everyone was listening. And then I spoke about more stuff.
You're able to adapt to your audience,
Exactly.
which is not easy to do. Say, no, that's not an easy skill to have.
But it's when you see the audience, if I'm going to continue the way I'm talking to them with the older, everyone goes like, "What is he talking about?" You know, I don't want this. Give me something higher.
The speaker needs to, and I think in any general public speaking, wherever you're speaking, whether it's religious or not, you need to be able to understand your audience and gauge their interest about what you're speaking. And you can't always change the entire topic or not, but Ahsantum, that's a perfect example whereby, you were giving them basic level information for that younger group, but as your audience changed, you can step it a bit further.
And what's happening right now in Al-Mahdi Mosque, you know, Salat al-Jum'ah, the Khutbah al-Jum'ah is becoming shorter and shorter. And this week was
so
about...
it's going to be Assalamu alaikum.
It was 13 minutes this week for the two khutbah. And I told them, if you continue like this, I'm going to just send you a WhatsApp, on Al-Mahdi Mosque WhatsApp group. I will just send you the khutbah there and we are done for.
That's it.
And we just come here for Salat al-Jum'ah. And even if Salat al-Jum'ah is too hard, we can do it at the parking lot. The audience is there, but getting the attention of the audience, and you're a speaker, you're a lecturer, you've been doing it for many years. It's very hard to get them to be engaged. Sometimes on the drop of a hat, you have to change everything. And when that happens, it's you catering for them. If you don't do that, you're going to lose their interest. And if you lose the interest, the next day, you're not going to get them to come. Same thing with the younger generation. And the younger generation, they want to be motivated. They want you to give them ideas. Do this.
And they want
be part of it.
I feel like they want current topics.
Exactly.
That's the feedback that I get from the younger ones. It's like, no, but it's not current. It's not real. It's not relatable for me, for my life. What am I benefiting from? I want it to be relatable, which I understand, and I see the importance of addressing current issues and relatable issues. But at the same time, our religion, it will always be relatable. And the stories of our imams will always be relatable. So we can't dismiss that. Or why is Sayyid, for example, speaking about this historical fact and the historical life of the imam? Because it's important for us to understand that. It's important for us to remember that. Because even if we've heard it before, it's important to hear it again and again until we become like the imam. Until we take the imam as our true role model. At the same time, Sayyid, that's where the skill comes into it of linking the past, linking the history, linking our religion and religious topics to current topics, and finding a general connection between
Imam al-Mahdi topic, you can link it to any imam. If you notice, if you sit down and think about Imam Mahdi, you can link Imam al-Mahdi topic to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There are many hadith from the Prophet about Imam al-Mahdi. You can link Imam al-Mahdi to Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib and Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib time, the usurp of the Khilafah and all of that. Imam al-Hasan, Imam al-Hussein, Sajjad al-Baqir to Imam al-Hasan al-Askari. So when they say, I want current, what's happening right now, you're in the time of the major occultation. Even though Imam al-Hussein was martyred 61 AH, Imam al-Hussein companions are an example for you and I. So now it has become current. That's why there is a book, I want to show it to you. Mahdi, if you can get that book from the office. Just right there is a book on the table. I just got this book on Monday. And it's very hard to get. If someone can get it from overseas, from Najaf, not that office, the other office on the table. It's a beautiful, it's a big book. It's actually a big book. But I wanted to show it to the audience. It's a beautiful book about Imam al-Mahdi salamullah alayhi. And it's a heavy book actually, yes. Thank you very much. This is the book. I asked many people in Najaf and Karbala to get it from me. They said, Sayyidina,
It's a heavy book also.
it's very hard.
Bring here.
It's very hard to
Yeah.
get. But Alhamdulillah, I was fortunate, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, to get. It's not gonna get out from this office
Yeah.
because inshallah we're thinking to make a whole series about it. دائرة المعارف المهدوية الإصدار الأول ويشتمل على 2500 عنوان.
Wow.
2500
subjects, titles.
titles. And it's by Sheikh Hussein عبد الرضا الأسدي. الإشراف والمراجعة العلمية مركز الدراسات التخصصية في الإمام المهدي.
MashaAllah.
So institution.
There's a whole institution about studying Imam Mahdi.
So if you look at it, it's alphabetical order. It goes like حرف الذال ويشتمل على 20 عنوان.
Wow.
أبا إمام المهدي.
Yeah. Letters. So it goes through letters.
Yeah. Letters.
And titles.
Sufyani, for example. A lot of people that I'm interested in Sufyani. Any lecture someone talking about Sufyani, I want to listen to it. As-Sufyani وهو رجل ربع, and he goes back and so these kind of things I find them to be.
So you have 2,500 different topics that you can speak about.
Yeah. See how
it's quite heavy. So I don't know if you want to bring this from overseas. You're gonna need extra check.
I have a great friend. Sayyid Fadl Sayyid. Allah yahfadhu yatawal umrah. And Sayyid Fadl Sayyid been part of this project
he's
of ours.
been on this podcast.
Yeah, many times, and he's been a very help. My cousin Sayyid Sajjad, I got him to get it for me. But if you look at that is an interesting piece of art.
That is amazing because
I don't call it a book. I call it an art.
Yeah,
it's an artwork. Look at how beautiful it is.
The way they've designed the book, to be honest, it's amazing. But 2,500 different titles
about Imam al-Mahdi,
subjects about Imam Mahdi, and each one of those is going to be linked to our current day, situation and things that we're going through, and youth topics and whatnot. And that's the ocean of knowledge that we have, Sayyidina. That's one drop of the ocean of the knowledge that we have, that Ahlul Bayt have provided us with. And so for people that say, the topics are repetitive and we're not really learning, and really, have you taken on board everything that you've heard in those topics? No. Did you take even 5% of that lecture that you heard a couple of months ago? Are you now perfect? The Quran, one can argue the Quran is repetitive. We read the Quran every day and Khatmat Quran and throughout the year. The Quran is not changing. The Quran is one. We're reading it, but have we followed everything that the Quran wants us? So that concept of people wanting something new, and it's a disease. I find that it's a disease of new information. It's not right. It's wrong, and it's going to take people into a very dangerous path, because those people who want new, there will be people who dress in a religious dress, people who appear as scholars, and they'll come to you with new things in the religion. Innovations in the religion.
You can
trying to change the way we practice our religion.
Exactly.
And they usually have a following, and the following is who? Is mostly the youth, those young, eager people who don't necessarily have the solid foundation, which is very important, but that wanting of something new. Things don't make sense. I cannot understand it. It just doesn't make sense in my mind, so I'm not going to believe in it. I'm going to reject this whole notion, reject this whole idea. That's an idea in their head, and then they see someone who looks like a scholar agreeing with them, like, oh, okay. So this is true, this does make sense. And then you have these new factions within our religion. So it's very important that we stick to the knowledge that we have, the knowledge of Ahlul Bayt, that we take everything back to the Quran and to the Ahlul Bayt, and know where we're getting our information from and what is our source.
I think we end with this, that the knowledge is there. The ayat will never change. The ayat of Quran Kareem, the verses, the Quran is never going to be changed. The ahadith. Imam al-Rida says, "علموا الناس محاسن كلامنا يتبعون." Teach people our saying, they will follow us. So everything is there, but the method that you give it out, you teach it, should you change.
The method can be adapted.
Yeah, the method.
The media, the way.
Ahsant. But not the hadith. I would say, what, this is the hadith. And like you mentioned, the innovations come in, and many people, because of their limited knowledge, or no knowledge at all, they get sucked into following this group or this group or that group, the cults, you can say. Cults. And he says, I will follow him, I'll follow, because in the hope that this person can help me later in life, and there's no hope. There's nothing. It's all a lie. What you see is all a lie. It's all a
They're
fabrication. It's all
saying what you
innovation.
want to hear. It's nice to hear. They're making, supposedly making life easier for you, but at the end of the day, that's a massive responsibility for you on the day of judgment. Where did you take your religion from? Who did you follow? Did you do your due diligence? Did you check? Did you make sure that I'm following this person because he's the right person to follow, that he has knowledge, he has the right knowledge? Or did I not do anything and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to follow that person, it's on him. Assalamu alaikum, Sayyidina. Thank you very much. Again, once again, a beautiful, beautiful talking to you. The wealth of knowledge that you have, we're always learning something new. Inshallah, we have a number of videos coming out. I know some of you have commented about, you know, the importance of the holy month of Ramadan, which is fast approaching us. Inshallah, we have a few videos coming out very soon in English and in Arabic about the importance of the holy month of Ramadan. And make sure that you're subscribed and you're following us on all of our social media. Thank you very much for joining us once again. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.